Okay, this is a moment of madness, and I'm trying to record a story. I've got a really bad voice for these things because it's often usually high, but thankfully I've got a cold. I'm not dressed for it. I have a dressing gown and a cup of tea and a computer to read from, and I've chosen a silly story because it's easier to read, I think. And I live in Scotland, and I have a really bad Scottish accent when I try to do one, but I'm going to try. Okay, it's called Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight, and it's about a little robbery, and it's the title of a Ramones song. Do I really have to go down there? It was you promised your ma a pearl necklace. Aye, but I meant we was going to buy one. You daft banana, price of those things, I'd have to get a job. Some dads have jobs, and some don't. Now get the fuck down there before I tan your arse. Craig held on tight to the chimney and looked inside. It's pitch black, Dad. Fuck's sake, son, the torch. He borrowed his brother's cycling lamp and fixed it onto an old sweatband so he could wear it round his head. It was his own invention. Allowed him to see where he was going and keep his hands free at the same time. Craig flicked the switch, then looked down. His fingers gripped the brickwork. I'll never fit. Get out. Boys twice your age were up and down these bloody chimneys just to give them a clean. But there might be a fire. If there was a fire, there'd be a smoke. What if Santa comes? Jesus, there's no such thing, you fruitcake. Now get down there and find us that necklace. Don't forget Mummy loves any kind of jewellery, and lots of it. Craig stepped onto the stack. Tears welled up in his eyes and spilled out onto his cheeks. No Santa, Dad. What do you mean? Do you want that present for your ma or no? Wiping his eyes with the sleeve of his jumper, Craig lowered himself into the hole and felt around for a hold. His dad took some of the weight by pulling the rope that joined them together like an umbilical cord. Remember the code, son. 1 pull for ready, 2 for get me out quick. Ned drank Irish coffee from his flask. It was more Gallic than Colombian, just the way he liked it. Between sips he puffed on a fat Cuban cigar, blowing the smoke out in rings the size of frisbees. It was his Christmas Eve tradition, and he wasn't going to let a little thing like breaking into Lady Hawthorne's mansion get in the way of routine. He'd already picked his horses for Boxing Day, and was halfway through ringing his TV selections in the Radio Times when the signal came. 1 pull. No sweat. He worked the rope steadily, hand over hand, pulling his son up and thinking about super cheese pizzas they'd be having for lunch with all the trimmings. When Craig popped his head out, he looked like a coal miner at the end of a shift, dirt covering his face and a broad grin stretching between his ears. He pressed his fingers to his lips and pulled himself out of the stack without speaking. Once they were in deep enough to be sure they were in the clear, they sat down against the trunk of an old oak. Let's see what you got. Craig opened the bag carefully and pointed his head down so that the swag was illuminated by a circle of light. I got her a stocking, he said to his dad, from the end of the bed. Ned grabbed at the fishnets and pulled the gifts out one by one. A bottle of Tesco's lubricating gel, silk, a box of Cointreau favourite condoms, for the refined woman, a chocolate penis, a pair of fluffy handcuffs, a bag of Thornton's toffee, and a Satsuma. What about the pearl necklace, Muppet? They'd have seen me. Who? Lady Hawthorne and Santa. Craig shoved the chocolate into his mouth and chewed. They were making babies. Ned flicked Craig's left ear hard. Christ, Dad! Christ's got nothing to do with this. It's Christmas we're talking about. A dribble of chocolate saliva dripped down Craig's chin as his smile appeared again. What the fuck are you grinning for now? Craig put the toffees and the Satsuma in the bag for him to take to his mum. I knew you was lying, Dad, Craig said as he buried his face into Ned's beer gut and gave him a hug. About Santa. I saw him, right there on top of Lady Hawthorne. Hey? Best Christmas I ever had, he said. Wait till I tell everyone in school. This is best between you and me, son, Ned said as he pocketed the handcuffs and the gel. Merry Christmas, mate. Merry Christmas, Dad, Craig said. And Dad, you might as well bring the condoms. Ma said she needed another bairn like she needed a ranger's scarf. That's the end. Happy Christmas from me.